All right, guys, Eric Polzin here with 9 to 5 Sports. Going to be getting into the value plays and sleeper plays here for week 11 of this NFL DFS season. Now, guys, there are a lot of great value plays out there. And I do want to apologize to you guys because when this video came out last week, I did not get news on Christian Watson just yet, if he was going to be active or not. Turned out it was just that Tua concussion protocol, got hit in the chest. And then hopefully you guys had watched the cash and ownership leverage video because he was a play in which once we got news that he was active, he was someone I was going out of my way to play. Christian Watson week, it's happening. This is the week, okay? And hopefully you guys did that. Now, looking at this slate, there is just a bunch of great value out there, especially at the receiver position, given some injuries that are out there. So I'm excited to get into this coverage for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you do, you know what to do. Please give me a like and subscribe. That helps me be able to put out more content for you guys. All right, let's get into the value plays. So as always, I do want to start out at the quarterback position. Now, the quarterback position is kind of rough when you're looking for value. Sure, I still have faith in Russell Wilson for some dumb reason, but at the same time, I don't see a reason to play anyone not named Dak or Justin today or this slate. Okay, so Wilson, I don't think we need to go down this though. There's enough value elsewhere, other positions that you can afford to play it for quarterback. Now, yes, sometimes people just want that. I'm going to give you guys that. We'll say Marcus Mariota had his worst freaking game of the season on Thursday Night Football. By far, it was terrible. But hey, he still ended up with 18 DK points. That was still enough. Like, still productive in that sense, going against the Bears, which are going to be a good matchup. It wouldn't be shocking to see him get to 18 DK points again. Like, if he can hit 18 DK points while having his worst game of the season thus far, it wouldn't be shocking to see him put up, I don't know, 24 having a good game, because he had looked pretty sharp up until last week. Okay, so once again, not someone you want to play, not someone you're trying to play, but I'm just trying to give you guys routes in which you can go if you need to dip into that value price band range at quarterback. Now, I think the route honestly would just be to go Baker Mayfield going against Baltimore. Now, Baltimore's defense has been much better as of recent. Okay, and Baker, yeah, he really sucked at the start of the season. Came in against Cincinnati, though, and actually looked pretty good, which was surprising. It is expected that Baker is going to be the starter and not Sam Darnold, which just makes me mad. But also, thank you for making Baker the starter, because I know not to play him really that much unless it's just in this one-off situation where like you have to find a quarterback at 5K. We're just not playing any of these guys, okay? So let's move on. We'll get into running back. So guys, we have some quality like running back plays I think on the slate. First, we'll start with Tyler Algier, probably the most obvious one on the slate. He was the running back that played the most snaps for the Falcons last week, playing 48% of the snaps. Not really shocking if you've been following along with the Falcons, especially because they do like to kind of spread the wealth at the running back position. So not surprising that he outsnapped Cordero Patterson. The problem with the Falcons is up until last week, all the running backs had looked pretty good. And there just wasn't any room to run. It was pretty as simple as that. But if he's going to be playing that many snaps, about 48% of the snaps in this offense that typically has been a very strong rushing offense, there could be something there at this price point, like someone you could kind of shrug your shoulders and be like, all right, I'm all right with it. I'm all right with securing 10 opportunities from a running back at sub 5K in a good matchup going against the Bears. Like, there is that possibility. Obviously not someone you really love, but at the same time could make it work. Kyren Williams is an interesting play. You saw Darrell Henderson play 57% of the snaps, and you saw him play 27% of the snaps. Did see 3 targets, and that's kind of the big appeal to him as a play, is that he should be their pass catching down back. And so maybe, I don't really expect them to be down against the Saints, but it could happen, you know. But I think the biggest expectation would be maybe he takes that next step and plays in 40% of the snaps. You know, it's more of a 60-40 split between those two. And so that is the intriguing thing. You know, maybe we get some news during the week that, hey, Kyren Williams is seeing some first team reps. Like, then you can maybe think about him as a play. But for the most part, guys, there really isn't any standout value play at the running back spot. Now, there are some sleepers, I would say. You know, Devin Singletary, a strong sleeper. It wouldn't be too shocking to see Michael Carter get 7 targets again, going against New England again. Like, he could easily get like 10 DK points just in the passing game. Antonio Gibson, I don't think he's going to be a sleeper play. I think people are going to be all over him. I'm recording this on Monday evening before Monday Night Football. So maybe he just goes off and has a great game and people are just going gung-ho over him at this price point. That could happen, but certainly still a sleeper. You know, Singletary and Foreman, both sleepers. Kenyon Drake, if Gus Edwards is out, going to be someone that's chalky, so not really a sleeper. You guys are getting the picture here. Let's get into the receivers, where we really do have some strong sleepers and some strong value plays. So I want to start at below 5K once again. Looking at it, guys, it wouldn't be shocking to see Garrett Wilson have a good game. Like, he is great. He's a great receiver. Okay, I would say he's the best rookie receiver. And then Chris Olave, okay? He's looked good. 7 targets against New England in the last game, went for 20 DK points. And then against Buffalo, 9 targets and 17 DK points, okay? the last two matchups he's had are two matchups in which you would be worried about. And now, yes, he gets New England again. Okay, so you do worry about that. But at this price point, it is someone that it wouldn't be too shocking to A, be low owned, and 2, to go off. Like that, both of those are both within the realm of possibilities. And I'm not saying he should be chalky, but he is someone you could put into 5 or 10% of your builds and have a really good week. Josh Reynolds is someone I don't like the matchup with, but he is someone that could be back. And if he is back, I do expect him to take over for Khalif Raymond. At the start of the season last year, when he became the receiver number 2, once DJ Chark was injured, he saw 4 straight really productive games, and 4 straight games of which he saw 10, 8, and 10 targets, and then against Washington 3, but still scored double-digit DK points. So I will say Nico Collins is kind of a sleeper play as well. He has come out this season and looked better and better really each week. Now against the Raiders, kind of just an off week, okay. Came back last week against the Giants, had 10 targets, had a touchdown, 15.9 DK points, gets a good matchup against Washington, a matchup in which obviously they can beat via the passing game. He is kind of maybe going to be their receiver number 1 with all that stuff happening with Brandon Cooks. So at 4.1, he is someone that I like as a play. Certainly someone that you can make work in your lineups as well. I don't expect him to be too chalky as well. But now let's get into the cover boy, Ben Skoranek here. So with Cooper Kupp expected to miss multiple weeks or some weeks, we haven't exactly gotten the full injury report yet, but it is expected that he's going to miss some time. I kind of expect Ben Skoranek to step into part of that Cooper Kupp role, in the sense that some of the plays that Cooper Kupp would be used with that were like manufactured touches, whether they're screens or whatnot, maybe some rushing attempts, ends around, I kind of expect that to go to Ben Skoranek, because he's really the only receiver that they have other than Cooper Kupp that can do that kind of stuff. If you watched the Rams this season and you took off the numbers of the two, like you would have kind of thought Skoranek was Cooper Kupp on some plays, because they're kind of using that same sense. Now, obviously he's not Cooper Kupp. I'm not trying to say that or anything, but the fact that he could be used in that Cooper Kupp role at 3.9 is highly intriguing. And tack on the fact that he played in 98% of the snaps last week. He'd already been someone that had a pretty nice role in this offense. I kind of like Ben Skoranek as a play. We have seen him hold value prior to like Cooper Kupp being injured. Okay. So yes, he is someone at 3.9, I think, is an intriguing play. Now, yes, everyone's going to go probably Allen Robinson and Van Jefferson. I'm not saying that's completely wrong, but I kind of expect Ben Skoranek to have the most manufactured touches go his way as a result of Cooper Kupp being injured. Kendall Hinton is an extremely interesting play. He played in randomly 90% of the snaps for the Denver Broncos last week. Yes, that was because of KJ Hamler being out. Oh, it was Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy got injured. How did I miss that? I apologize, guys. All right, so let's just see. Wow. I don't know how I missed that. I apologize. But yeah, if he's going to miss time, Kendall Hinton at this price point is just someone you are definitely looking at. I came in and saw a lot of snaps. Okay. He's always been a guy that's been like good enough, like someone that you keep on your roster because he does a lot of things right. But at 3.6, like he could be stepping into a nice price point here. Like honestly, if we get 10 DK points once again from him, we're good with that. And especially like the two matchups are very similar between Tennessee and the Las Vegas Raiders, like very similar matchup. Like I think that can be the expectation from him. And that's a very cheap price point then. I will say Terrace Marshall is also still kind of cheap, still a sleeper play. Didn't really have a big game last week. The offense struggled. 2 targets, but still had 43 yards. Did have that big play. You saw what I've been seeing from him the last few weeks. 1, he played a lot, but 2, he did have that explosive big play there on Thursday Night Football. Just need to get in the ball more. It's as simple as that. So, expect a few more targets to go his way. Wouldn't be shocking to see him get to even 15, maybe even 20 DK points if he scores a touchdown on a big reception. And this is a play that I kind of touched on the FanDuel Core Plays video. Could be an interesting play here. Played in 65% of the snaps for the New York Giants. Okay. Very interesting stuff there, especially given the matchup with Detroit this week. Okay, if he's playing in 65% of the snaps once again, and that's something we'll need to confirm before lineup lock, he could be a very strong price point play that you're looking at. Minimum priced, okay, and he had 6.1 DK points the last week. So like could be a very, very interesting value play if we get news that he's going to be into that role again. Like that is intriguing to me. And then staying with the Giants, if Daniel Bellinger is still going to be out, I would say Lawrence Cager, the former receiver, would be someone that you're looking at. Guys, he is priced as a receiver on FanDuel. Okay, they have him listed as a receiver on FanDuel. Sorry. On DraftKings, he's a tight end. He's listed correctly. Thank God, because 2.5 is such a cheap price point for him if Daniel Bellinger is out. Okay. Played in 65% of the snaps. Only had 2 targets. Once again, like they just don't throw the ball enough. But still, that'd be intriguing to me. Like the Lions defense is terrible. Had 8.9 DK points. And my whole thing is I always want to pay down at tight end. So like I like the fact that we can play him instead. Kyle Granson would also be someone you could look at as a value play. Defensively, I am just pretty much looking at the Steelers. just seems like a misprice with Wattpack. So that's the route that I want to go there. All right, hopefully you guys enjoyed the value plays video. If you did, you know what to do. Please give me a like and subscribe. That helps me be able to help you guys out. All right, thanks for watching. Let's have a good slate. And as always, let's keep cashing.